You're rocking and rolling. Ooh, this song slaps. Yuki by 3 eggs. I've been jamming to a Twitch safe EDM playlist on Spotify that apparently has no copyrighted songs in it. So hopefully, I don't get in any trouble or get copyrighted or muted, so that we can just jam a little bit more carelessly, if you will. All right, so I did have some very light ideas for Orange Team's emote, but of course, if Orange Team is here, I would much prefer for them to weigh in. Also, if you haven't picked a team yet and you're confused on what's going on there are 4 color teams as seen in the Toys R Us banner colors, and I have a whole video on my YouTube channel explaining it. That super easy to find. So if you're confused, no need to be. Feel free to ask questions or go find that video. Alrighty, so let's see if we can get a little mummy face going. Kind of figure out, I guess, an art style. See if there's a style I want to replicate, or if I just want to kind of go with my very traditional. Oh, I can't even think of the. There's a certain method that I kind of like land close to. That's a bit traditional, but I also don't don't follow the rules very tight. Honestly, I kind of need to change up my method a little bit, because I tend to come at everything with like the same attack, and then I'm like, oh, all my shit looks the same for some reason. I wonder what it could be. I don't know, maybe because you start every drawing with the same freaking head shape. Stop it. Come on. It's not good for changing up. Let's try to sketch a little bit less methodically. Let's try to get a little bit more chaotic with it. So let's just grab an orange pencil, scale it down a bit, not a whole lot. Let's like work in that structure. So let's try to start with like an expression. So I guess we could do what are, I mean, what are some variations of like Pog emotes, I guess. Like, you guys won, so that's, you know, something to consider. We could do a mummy doing any variation of, okay, not a Poog. The traditional Pog. Pog champ. So many options. But we could also do something simple, like a little mummy walking. So we could do the very old school cartoony 2 hands forward. It's a little, I need to foreshorten that a little more. Space out. Bring that down. Think about torso. Hands maybe more out here. Gosh, this is jammy. Hands forward. Then maybe just kind of cut off here. I don't dislike this so far, but let's just keep really sketching at it. See where it goes. I could, because they're my lore nerds, we could have them bookworming. Big thing with emotes and stickers is I don't want them to be too over detailed because a lot of that's going to get lost on scaling. But if I'm going to upload this, you know, to be available as a sticker as well, I want a little bit more than just a face. As though my Redbubble... Ooh, a book wrapped in bandages could be really clever. Especially if we did it in a good, like, orange palette, maybe. I definitely like that idea as well. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. There's probably like a science to how all of these songs are so dang catchy to me. Like when it comes down to like the chord structure and the BPM of very specific EDM songs just being like, wow, I immediately just really like this one. There's probably like a science to that. I don't care. I'm gonna convince myself that it's some sort of magic and that musicians are just wizards and bards and whatnot. And they're just enchanting me. Alright, cool. That's a totally normal and rational way to look at it, right? Right you are. Put this one over in the corner. Let's just go at it again. Oh, didn't mean to rotate, meant to zoom. So eyes looking down, so we're probably going to want to tilt the eye sockets a little bit. So let's... Oop. Yeah, I really need to do anything about that. Have them looking down a little bit. Maybe a little bit of eyebrow shape here. Because we'll kind of go for a cartoony face. Very happy reading a book. Maybe no nose cavity, because I think that's pretty standard for how we've been drawing stuff. And then maybe a little lower eye cavity. And then reading a book. A little bit of a chin dimple. And then we can add, like, right up over top of that part of the face, we can have bandaging. And then just carry it over. Gonna add in some ears. Flip it so we can try to make it a little bit more symmetrical. Right. Kind of gets the idea started there. Cool, cool, cool. Let's try that other idea we had, friend Ray had, the idea of a book. There are a couple ways we can do it as well. Because when you're drawing a book, you can do a closed book or you can do an open book, and it changes quite a bit about just kind of like the approach as well as the kind of the mood. Like when you, especially like in a video game, if you see a book icon and it's an open book, you're like, oh, this is like a spell book or a lore book or something that I'm allowed to get into. Versus like if it's a closed book in the picture, when you first see it, you're like, this book is somehow now more important. Like this is a tome of lore, or this is like, whether or not it's true, whether or not that proves to actually, you know, be a rule of logic or not. It's just like the way my brain automatically jumps when I see books in, you know, any kind of trail, especially for like video games and tabletop games and such. And that could just be very simple visual language. That could literally just be like, oh, this thing's open, so your brain perceives it as being, you know, allowed. And that's like important to your brain for some reason. Ooh. Things I probably would have learned if I finished college. I'm also trying to keep good track of time today, see how much time I spend on any project, but we got a good chunk of time I can spend on this. I don't know how late we'll stream today, but we'll get some good time in. We'll hang out. I missed you guys. Tuesdays are the long days. It's fun. Gosh, these songs slap. Who made this playlist? kapa.sao. Thank you for the playlist. Essentially boiled down to effective use of visual language both through pre-existing concepts of how things work as well as just psychology. So cool. I'm not crazy. I'll take it. I mean, I'm not crazy on this subject. I'm sure I'm crazy for some reason, but not in this instance, you know? I make this big sealed lore tome, kind of what I was thinking. Kind of lean into the fact that you guys are the keeper of secrets. Do, 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 do. Do, do. All right. Go layer above that. Bring that down to like 60. Just that one doesn't seem. Then we can just let's get a different color so we can get some contrast on where the bandages were. Oh, absolutely more of a music lover. Yeah. I will listen to almost any genre. Like I will listen to like what's a good example? Like I'll listen to like some like weird dark screamo like music, like screamo trap stuff by like Scarlord, Cordell, Ghost Main, a little darky on occasion, but he can be a bit much. Stuff like that, and then I'll immediately go from that to like folk music, listening to like Colton Wall and Da Vinci's Notebook and like all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah, music is just very fun. I took so many music classes in high school that's not even funny. I was in like every music program you can be in at my high school, which wasn't a lot given the size of my high school, but it was enough for me to really enjoy myself. One of my favorite classes I ever took was actually music appreciation, which is exactly just like my personality as a class. It's like, hey, do you want to learn a bunch of facts about like, you know, musical celebrities and notable like people who changed the direction of music? And I'm like, yeah, of course, that sounds fantastic. Like I'll spend hours just like watching interviews and stuff. It's terrible because like I at the same time really don't like celebrity culture and really don't like the Hollywood structure, if you will. and how it seems to infect musicians just as much as it does like movie stars. But I'm also like, I really like this. I really like this art you're making, and I think that just by nature of making art, you're a more interesting person. So now I'm obsessed with you. There are only certain people that I actually allow myself to be a little obsessed with, though. Ozzy Osbourne is an example, because that dude is just an absolute like delight to learn about. I don't know what he's like in person. I've never met the gentleman, but I know that his musical career is like iconic to the very history of heavy metal, and I really think that like his personality has always been very interesting, and has led to some very like strange developments in terms of like the science of like drugs and rock stars and stuff like that, because they've actually learned and used Ozzy kind of as a case study for other musicians that have like abused drugs and alcohol. They're like, oh yeah, here's exactly how much damage you can do in how much amount of time if you literally live like these guys did. Cool. Don't do that. Yeah, ancient tome, maybe wrapped up in some wraps, maybe even having like a couple loose ones fly out the side or something. Yeah, I like that idea. Good call, friend Ray. Alrighty, we'll grab these two. Throw this over in this corner. We could also do something. I would have to do maybe a little bit more research to make sure that it's still not an actively used symbol a whole lot. But I know that a lot of times we'll see ankhs associated with mummies. This symbol of resurrection is used quite a bit, but I will have to double check my research just because I don't want to misuse this if this is a still used symbol. But I would imagine with how much video games and stuff use it, there's probably at least some degree of how you're allowed to use it. But I will double check its meanings and things like that, just so that I don't do any undeserved harm. But I will still put it on my little sketch page to remind myself to do that research. What else do we have associated with mummies? What else comes to mind? We could do like an orange scarab beetle. And though I don't necessarily know a whole lot about what scarabs look like, I can mostly envision in my head. No, wait, I'm thinking wrong. Let me do it this way. Yep. An urn, that is also a good idea. Yeah, like the little organ urns that they used to do. It's very interesting. Let's go for 6. Just kind of, I'll have to look at scarabs again, because I'm realizing I don't know what these little guys look like off the top of my head. I'm kind of just ending up with a spider with a beetle body, and that's not really, I think, what these guys look like. They might kind of look like that. I don't know. I'll find out when I look them up later. This is a sketch page for concepts. It's okay. Urn. Yeah, we could definitely do an orange team urn. We could maybe do something like the figurehead ones. Put something up on top of it. Yeah, could be anything inside there. Who knows? I don't think it's gonna be tasty though. I'll say that. At least not for my liking. I'm not not much of an ancient guts guy myself, but you never know. We could put something up on top, or we could just make it a big sealed like jar. But I know that they do have these ones with these big like figureheads up top. I don't know what head shape we could do. That we probably wouldn't want to do one of the actual Egyptian gods, but maybe something inspired by could be cool. Maybe we could put the new TTS crow up there. Lots of ideas. I like that one though. It's a very cool idea. What are those jars called? I know that there is an actual proper name for them. How many jars? What are those called? Canopic jars. Yeah, these are really cool. But don't eat what you find in there. Don't do that. If you're ever in an RPG and you're able to like slide the top off of one of these, don't. No, it's not a taco. It's not a mummy flesh taco. It is bad. It is yucky. Don't eat that. Chat, don't eat that. Not a conversation I thought we'd be having, but all right. I like these ideas. These are fun so far. Anybody have any other ideas? Well, we still got a little bit of time here. Orange team, do you have anything? This is kind of making me think of Khonshu though. Shoot, I'll have to make sure that it actually looks like a raven and not a vulture skull, because then I'm just making Orange Team Moon Knight. I don't know. Does Orange Team like Moon Knight? I know Bibbs doesn't know Moon Knight, but Tamar, do you like Moon Knight? I suppose I could make an orange Moon Knight. I don't know why we would, but yeah, I suppose. An idea. No ideas are bad ideas. Some are just a little strange. A little confusing. I'm a little bit more familiar with Moon Knight's comics than the show, believe it or not. And that's not even a good thing. I don't know a lot of his comics. I just haven't seen the show, and I've read a little bit of comics with him in it because I was a big Deadpool and Spider-Man fan in high school. And Moon Knight does have a good amount of interactions with those two. I mean, I guess you could say he's kind of an iconic mummy now. He's got your guys' look. I guess the argument could also be made that he's stealing your look. Not bad. Not a bad little Moon Knight sketch. Most people would actually get what it is, so that's a win. I think he's got the little mark of Khonshu up here as well. Oh yeah, that's way more recognizable now. That's definitely Moon Knight. I don't know. Shoot, I'm struggling, team. When I think of mummies, one of the first things that comes to mind, and I don't know if this is even relevant to anybody else, but Soul Eater, what was that mummy that was... no, that's Mira, so that's a cool example of a mummy. No, I was thinking of, yeah, the Wrath of the Pharaoh. Yeah. Let's look up that episode in particular. Because this is a really cool, but also kind of creepy... I knew I was typing something wrong. Like, that's not how you spell Pharaoh. The original comic panel is really cool, because it just gives him this really weird... I really love the manga artist behind both this one and Fire Force. This stuff is Oh. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that could be a really good reference. Just the slightly opened sarcophagus. Because that's also one of the coolest, like, build-ups. Like, this entire time, you know, Death the Kid's whole thing is like, oh, I can't destroy this perfectly symmetrical thing. It would just be like the antithesis of who I am. And then this dude crawls out and he's like, oh, that is the ugliest, most asymmetrical thing I've ever seen. It is only my job to destroy it. So it works out. Spoilers, but also watch all of Soul Eater 1,000 times because you can know exactly what's going to happen and it still slaps. So enjoy. Watch some Soul Eater. And then thank me later. Yeah, I do like that sarcophagus idea. Play with that one a little bit. Try to get it rough, round up top, slight out shape, and then give it a base. You might be thinking to yourself, Sully, it's a little plain, little lacking in shape. Well, watch this, little friend. He's cheating. Yes, you should cheat too. Save yourself as much time as you can. Your sanity is important, and I care about you. Nobody should put in a bunch of unnecessary effort, especially if you're just idea sketching. The copy-paste tools, the ability to use your layers together, all of those things that make you feel like you're cheating as an artist. Maybe you are. So what? I don't think so. I don't think it's cheating. But hey, maybe you do. Important question is, are you more worried about cheating or making art? Personally, really with me with art, I don't know. I mean, I trace some of my anatomy. I reference a lot of really good art. There's lots of things that I think the more impatient of us would be, very quick to call cheating. I think are just tricks of the trade. Yep, exactly. Good artists reference great artists, and the best artists do it so well you can't tell. That's it. Art is and always will be a little bit derivative, so long as what you add to the pile feels like it has your voice in it. Do it. Oh yeah. Yeah, shortcuts are, especially. But in my specific instance, I was just giving you a quick little, not even a good perspective hack, a way to give a little object some dimension. Like, that's a very basic one, but there are so many ways that you will find make your life just a tiny bit faster, make your style feel just a little bit more natural. Like, you can just very quickly do it. Some people will copy paste the eye and then still redraw it. Some people will just copy paste the eye. Both are valid, my friend, as long as you're making art. Let's go back and look at faces. Yeah, exactly. Very well said, friend. All right. So let's maybe play into that headdress look a little bit. I do like that. So we'll delete this. Go in with a purple. And just do the same size because I did scale it up a little bit. Okay, so that's there. If we bring this around. Do-do-do. Roughly where those hands would be. Some forearm shapies. Don't gotta be perfect, just gotta get the idea on there. Feet's down here somewhere. Retransform and just gonna pull that left side over. Check it symmetrically. Yeah. I do like that idea. Mari, you're killing it today. Proving that you earned that VIP status, friend. Of course you're all killing it. I appreciate all you being here. But two solid ideas back to back. We will save this. Ooh. Mummy SP1, sketch page 1, which is how I frame a lot of my stuff. Just, how many times have I sketched on this particular subject? Oh, there we go. Page 3. There we go. Good little page of sketches, though. Good couple ideas. We might come back to. There you go. Heck yeah. I'm glad I have a community that gets that, like, ahead of time. I've seen so many, especially lately on TikTok, I've been seeing more and more people having these arguments, and that's why I wanted to make sure that that little positive note and that little, exactly, the many artists have traced, and it is one of many kinds of the forms of the process. It's one shape the process can take, but like there are artists who their entire style revolves around collage, and I still think that their art is, you know, can blow mine out of the water oftentimes. So yeah, good stuff. I will sketch some more on a couple of these and then we'll vote on which one we like, but for now we will call it on these here, and we'll start getting ready for some gaming games, some Tears of the Kingdom.